who's ready for their daily dose of, I don't know what the stock market's doing today? Investors took a trip to the stock equivalent of the Grand Canyon as tariff craziness sends SPY off a cliff, only to mount a massive recovery the next day. Here's what's happened. Please note, we're covering breaking events and we may not know the full story or what led to these events. Amidst the ongoing U.S. government shutdown, last Thursday, October 9th, China announced new trade restrictions, which included the export of rare earth metals, as well as intellectual property and technologies. However, it's important to note that these restrictions are not bans, and instead set requirements for companies that wish to export Chinese resources. While this announcement applies to all countries, it also represents an escalation in the trade war between the U.S. and China. So, how did the U.S. respond? Well, anybody remember April? On Friday, the Trump administration announced an additional 100% tariff on all Chinese goods starting on November 1st. This, on top of existing tariffs, is the most extreme escalation between the two largest global economies since the back and forth in April, which led to reciprocal tariffs of over 200%. The stock market, unsurprisingly, didn't take the news well, with the S&P 500 recording its largest loss since, April, falling as low as 3.8% before closing out the day down 2.7%. This move erased around $2 trillion in market cap in the stock market, with additional losses in the crypto market, which made for its own controversy. However, the U.S.'s tone seems to have shifted over the weekend as a post on Truth Social by Trump seemed to hint at a more reasonable agreement, stating President Xi just had a bad moment. To nobody's surprise, the stock market opened in the green on Monday, recovering 1.5% of its losses from the previous week. So is that it? Well, not exactly. As of now, the 100% tariff plans are still in place, and China has not been silent, announcing today that they will be halting soybean imports from the U.S. This endangers around half of U.S. soybean exports, valued at around $12.5 billion. Now, I think that covers it. Wait, well, what about the government shutdown? TLDR, no new news, no new economic data, and no idea when it'll end. Stay tuned for our ongoing coverage of market, economic, and apparently government events.